Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I'm going to be leaving Florida for Tennessee to go look at my land and talk to some builders. So remember that if you don't see any videos from me in the next couple days, that's what I'm up to. Go check out some older work. Join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. We talk about it time and time again. Here's another woman crying on TikTok, and she's finding out that dating on over the age of 30 is awful. And she happens to be in LA, very, very woke and progressive. Well, what do you know? It's horrible. Shocking. So before we jump into that, this is from a gal named Kamala on Twitter. She says, as an effort to help the people in Ukraine during the Ukraine invasion, I will be having a sale on my OnlyFans at 50% off for everyone in Ukraine. Well, I think they've got other things on their mind other than worrying about your OnlyFans. But to help them, she will put her product on sale. Is she donating the money she makes from that to any of the causes? No, just to help them, she's going to put it on sale. In reality, this is like a bake sale, and the only person that helps is herself. All right, main story. Woman goes viral on TikTok, shows the real consequences of casual dating into your 30s. We've said it time and time and time again. You guys can't hear the audio, so if I play the video, it'll be just for me reading it. But they say, let me introduce you to Camille. She's around 30. In other words, she's older than 30. Lives in LA, and she's in tears over the state of her love life. Why? I'll let you explain. Now, I know you guys can't hear this.
I just had...
So I'm going to mute it. But you can say she's not a bad-looking woman. She looks, you can't see the lower half, but her face doesn't look like she's a big gal, but she looks like she has nice curves. I think, again, most guys, now you can see her wiping away the tears. Most guys that would run into her would be like, yeah, she's pretty. I'd take her out on a date and everything. But remember, the guys that would likely take her out on a date like that are invisible. She's complaining about the really, really top percent guys. She says, I just had the craziest, saddest thought. Camille begins tearfully. I'm in the stage of life where I'm watching all my friends get married and have babies and find love. And I had another talking phase, we call that the epiphany phase, yet again fall through. And my friend was like, you'll meet the one day, don't give up. But now I'm at a point where I hope I don't, because what happens if I meet him and he wants kids and I'm too old to be able to give him any? So it's easier for me to say I don't want kids. Now, at 30, she's fine. If she's really 35, and if she's really 35, she looks good. Yeah, she's, by the time you date, by the time you settle in, by the time you get married, by the time you get a home together, 2, 3, 4 years. And if you're 35, now you're 39. And all of a sudden, now your percentage of maybe having a kid's a couple percent. She said, but why is she 30-something and not found the guy? Because, again, she's chasing the bad boys that get all the attention from all the other women, and we don't have to settle down now anymore. Just go out and have fun. Camille genuinely seems like she's a lovely woman. She's beautiful, funny, and down to earth. Any guy would be lucky to go out with her, and yet she is struggling to find real love because our modern dating scene is a disaster area. The days of courtship and shared values and really getting to know a person have been usurped by a culture of hookups and dating for fun, and it's making women miserable. Now, I just talked about this in the previous video. Whose fault is that? It's women's. If women went out when a girl was 22, 23, 21, 24, whatever, and she dated with a purpose, and she said to a man, I'm not sleeping with just anybody. I saved myself for a boyfriend. I want it to be serious. I want to be with this person for an extended period of time, and if not forever. And if a guy agrees with that, then he'd be like, okay, let's do that. And then she vets him for red flags, and he vets her for red flags, and they work their way through it. But now, because the divorce rate is so high, because the laws, again, continue to punish men for that, men are like, either A, I'm invisible to women, or B, I have no reason to settle down because I can sleep with everybody. And men primarily, from a relationship, want somebody that's going to appreciate them, treat them kindly, and give them the bedroom access that they want. Casual dating was advertised as something that would empower women. We were told that we didn't need to settle down with a man. Instead, we should date for fun, embrace our sexuality, and have as much meaningless, casual sex as we wanted. We can take birth control, so what's there to worry about? Few people ever considered the emotional toll that casual dating would have on women, but the consequences have been dire, and not only for the women who engage in the hookup culture, but even those who don't. Right. Because now so many women engage in the hookup culture that women that don't engage in the hookup culture, if she really does deserve or want or think she should be with a really attractive, successful guy, in the past she might have gotten him. But now he just says, well, you know what? There's a lot of other fish in the sea that'll give it up, and I don't need to give it to you. And so those women need to either start dating down to find somebody that would actually commit to them. They say the ironic thing about hookup culture is that while it was supposed to make women equal with men, it ended up exacerbating the very inequalities it was supposed to fix. Men get everything they want and more out of the deal. That's ding, ding, ding. I wish I had my soundboard. Ding, ding, ding. That's exactly what we've been saying. Men no longer have to commit. Men don't have to provide. Men don't have to have a home. Men don't have to have anything. They can go to the gym. They can be good looking. They get all the hookup they want. The other guys that are doctors or lawyers or are maybe very successful, or you know what, even a lot of, again, truckers and plumbers and welders and electricians, they can have a lot of money to their name. They can be very successful and very intelligent men. But because they don't have the degree, or maybe because they're not flashy with their money, women just assume, he's not good enough for me. And so those guys aren't getting married. So they keep all their money to themselves. So again, as far as I'm concerned, men are winning this whole deal and women are losing entirely. They say now they can sleep with as many women as they want. They don't have to worry about getting a woman pregnant. They can make sure to wrap it. They get to embrace their inner Peter Pan syndrome, right, where we never have to grow up. And they can put off responsibilities for as long as they want, perhaps indefinitely. Meanwhile, women are left feeling empty inside. This is exactly right. And so when a lot of people watch channels like mine or other guys' channels, and we're telling women, stop being like this. Like, give the average guy a chance. You know, be with somebody that's on the same level that you are. Maybe you're not smoking hot, but maybe you're doing okay in life. Look for a guy that's not smoking hot, that's doing okay in life, but they don't do that. They keep getting used by the winners. Does Camille seem very empowered to you? No, she seems heartbroken. Her TikTok is hard to watch because you feel for her. Maybe you, like many women nowadays, are struggling with exactly the same issues she is. If anything, casual dating has empowered men a lot more than it ever empowered women. The idea that you can have fun in your 20s and settle down in your 30s might sound like a good idea, but it turns out that Camille points out that the men you date in your 30s are no better. Right? Because look, a 30-year-old or even a 40-year-old guy that's extremely desirable, he can date the 20-somethings. He can date the 30-somethings. He doesn't have to settle down. He can just have fun right up into his 50s. And maybe then he decides to settle down, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just keeps having fun right up until his libido drops off a cliff and he's like, well, never got married, never had any kids, but I'm single. I don't even desire women anymore. And look at all this money I have. Like win, 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 win. They say the tainted dating pool. I have no idea if Camille engages in hookup culture or not, but it doesn't matter because she's affected by it either way. Casual dating has made finding a serious man more difficult because it teaches men to not be emotionally serious. Again, notice they say men as in general, but that's not who they're really talking about. It teaches the top 10 or 20% of men to not be serious because they have all the choices. 20% of men, 100% of the women. Men don't have to settle. What about the 80% of men? They can be emotionally serious. They would probably love to have a beautiful, young, attractive woman and might even date them or marry them. But they're not given the opportunity. They're invisible. So when they talk poorly about men treating women badly and just doing the hookup culture, they're only talking about 20% of men. They forget about the other 80%. One of the unfair realities of life is that men can father children well into their older years, while women simply can't. So casual dating in our 20s and 30s isn't as harmful to men as it is to women. Women typically don't have the luxury of waiting until 40 to settle down if they want to have kids. We're naturally on a much shorter childbearing timeline than men. Casual dating has worsened this timeline inequity and set many women up for heartache later in life. Yeah, I think Tony Randall was something like 68 or 70. Mick Jagger just had a kid with like a 30-year-old model. It's good to be the king. He was, I want to say, 60s or 70s. So yeah, guys, it may be harder, but I don't know too many men that are going to be upset about having to do it twice a day. Although at that age, you're going to have to probably take some chemical stimulants to make it happen. They say even if you don't engage in casual dating, you're still harmed by it because it taints the entire dating pool. Wrong. It taints just the top 20% of the dating pool. The other 80% of men would be happy to date, but they're not looked at, again, because women feel like they deserve the best of the best, and the rest of you don't even count anymore. So, of course, 80% of women are going to be left out. If you look at 20% of men are getting 100% of women, that means that the top 20% of women would get the top 20% of men, and the other 80% of women lose out. However, since those top 20% of men can just keep cycling through 100% of the women, maybe they only choose the top 30 or 40 or 50% of women, like average or better, why would they ever settle down? So it ends up that 100% of women lose and 20% of men win and the other 80% lose, again, unless they find other things to do with their time. When presented with the limitless options that casual dating offers, the idea of choosing to settle down with just one woman is unappealing for many men. Evolutionary biologist Brett Weinstein calls this an evolutionary bargain. Casual hookup presents men with too good of a deal to pass up, so why would they? Exactly. This is exactly my point. I've been saying it forever. Women get the short end of the casual dating stick. Women and men process emotions much differently, or very differently, especially when it comes to sex. We get attached much more easily than men do, which makes it very difficult for us to engage in casual sex without emotional consequences. It used to be like that. But now young women are doing it so much that they're literally burning out the centers that allow them to be emotional during the bedroom fun. Then when they get into their 30s, it's fried out and they don't have the ability to fall in love with a guy. Thus, they get married, they maybe have kids, but their radar keeps looking for another dude. And when she gets some tingles and excitement, she bounces on the husband. I've done those stories. They say it's not just me saying that. It's actually been proven by science. Women experience a big boost in oxytocin, the love hormone, during sex, which expedites the bonding process for us. But there's actually scientific study, and I did a video on this like 2 years ago, where women can burn that out to where they don't get the rush like they used to, and so they need to chase it more and more and more, and eventually they fry out that ability to do it at all. They say the desire for emotional attachment is built into our very DNA. So while men can have casual hookups and go on their merry way afterwards, most women find that very hard to do. Again, till recently. One of the worst parts about casual dating is it makes many more women feel guilty about their very biology. Modern feminism teaches women that we're exactly the same as men, so we should be able to have it all the casual sex we want and not feel a thing. Then when women try that strategy and it backfires, we're made to think there's something wrong with us. What a psychologically torturous notion. Camille mentioned something else in her TikTok that's important. She now feels the need to lie to herself and others about the fact that she wants kids. Yeah, I mean, you wait till the wall, you get the wall. They say closing thoughts, which is kind of everything I've been talking about. You know, here's the thing about it that I think that women don't understand with this. They're the ones that set this up. They're the ones that control access to the bedroom. Men control the relationships. Men are not going to settle for a woman that sleeps around. Men are not going to settle if they're the top 10 or 20% and they're getting all the bedroom fun they want and they don't ever have to risk a bad divorce or losing their stuff. And the other, 60, 70, 80% of men that aren't able to partake in this market, they're finding other things to do. They're getting on with their lives. They're making more money. They're making better friends. They're Peter Pan syndrome. Again, all day today. Well, not all day today. Like 2 hours today, I was playing Elden Ring. I'm a 49-year-old guy playing a video game. And now that's not all I do all day, but that's one of my hobbies. Why? Because I can. I don't have to take the kids down to soccer games and run the wife to a flea market. No way. And on top of that, because guys that are in their 30s and 40s now see maybe attractive women or women with kids already, whatever, or women that had their fun and then now starting to show the crow's feet and maybe have gained a little weight, those women are like, oh, I've had my fun. It's time to settle down now. And the guys are like, you know what? You ignored me when you were in your 20s. And I got better things to do. If you're here on YouTube, join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com or rumble.com if you'd like to see the dating profile of the day. Over on Locals, again, free speech forums. We've got, 7,000 or 8,000 memes. We've got like 50,000 people over there that are members. Being a member is free, or you can become a supporter today, and that's where you can see the dating profile of the day. Otherwise, YouTube can screw off.